I'm just in Morrison's car park because I've just got some supplies as I'm going on a little trip. Just a couple of days, I think, just to give this solar panel a try out and just to get away as well. I'm going to drive down to the M62 and I'm going to go east and we'll see where that takes us. I've come to the Rudston monolith, which is the tallest standing stone in Great Britain, I think. 7.6 metres tall, and it's in the grounds on the churchyard of this church in Rudston. I'm going to turn around in East Yorkshire, I think we are now, and you can see it. Hang on. It is there. It's massive. We kind of walk towards it. I walk backwards. This is a bit risky. Maybe I'll do that coast thing where you talk over your shoulder. So, it is 7.6 metres tall. Where it goes way up there. Late Neolithic, early Bronze Age probably, so about 3000 BC, I think, something like that. The church would have almost certainly been built here because the site was already considered like a sacred site. There's also another little Rudston one, which is very small. There it is, much smaller than its big counterparts over there. Good morning. I'm off on a walk. As you will have just seen, I spent the night in the car park of the Wold Inn in Gypsey, which I found on the pub stopovers website thing. So if you've not done that kind of thing, basically in exchange for having your tea there and a couple of drinks, a lot of pubs will let you camp on their car park. It was really nice and the staff were really friendly and it's lovely, and if you're in the area, recommend it. The only thing was there was no phone signal. There's Wi-Fi in the pub, but that's about that. But other than that, it was brilliant, really nice. So now I've just parked up the van in the village of Thwing, which sounds funny, and I'm now on my way to the second biggest, or second highest, second biggest round barrow in Yorkshire, which is called Willy Howe, which also sounds funny. Willy Howe. Willy Howe. It's weirdly, it's almost the same height as the Rudston monolith that we went to yesterday, and it's not very far away. I didn't have time to visit both of them last night because I got to Rudston quite late. So I've kind of come back from the coast back to where I was to see this giant round barrow. Don't know what else I'm going to do today. I might go to Scarborough. I've never been to Scarborough. Growing up in Blackpool, I tend to stay away from seaside resorts, but you know, of late there's a slight sort of fascination with them, and it'd be interesting to see what Scarborough's like, because I've only ever seen it in pictures and on telly and stuff. Other than that, don't really know. See where the road takes us. I'll tell you something, when you've spent the best part of the last 18 months in a steep-sided valley, coming to a landscape like this is quite amazing. You can see for miles, which I suppose some people are used to. Look at this, it's just kind of gently rolling hills. Really enjoying it. So, there it marked on the map, which is supposed to kind of basically go along the line of this camera shot, doesn't seem to exist. So I'm going to have to go down this track up to the road, I think, along the road and back down the other footpath. I'm having to come this way in the first place because the road that runs right by Willy Howe is shut because they're resurfacing it. So I'm having come a long way anyway, and now the path that I thought I saw on the map doesn't exist. But it's fine, we're not like massive distances. Oh, I've now ended up walking through a never-ending wheat field. I'm trying to really be really careful and stay in these cart tracks. I'm going to end up, I know, exactly at the start of the roadworks where I was before, so I should have just parked and walked from there instead of trying to be clever. Oh well. Hi. I'm now quite warm, and I found myself walking along the bed of the Gypsey Race, which is this kind of ephemeral stream that runs through here and runs past a lot of these prehistoric monuments actually. So it's quite likely that they were sited, well, one of the reasons they were sited where they were is because they were close to this stream. But as you see at the moment, it's basically a footpath. Right, this is not Willy Howe. This is Wold Newton round Barrow, which is about 3 metres high, and was reconstructed in 1894. Apparently aerial photography has shown that there was a causeway ditch around it, which may have drawn water from the Gypsy Race, which is just the other side of that fence. Wasn't where I was supposed to come. It's pretty cool. I found my way back to civilization. I'm in Wold Newton, which is where I should have just set off from in the first place. I'm imagining I'm going to have to do quite a bit of road walking now as well, because there's not that many footpaths through these fields, but never mind, it's a nice day. This is Wold Newton Church, which dates from the 11th century, or at least the main part. As you can see, that is an addition on the end, I think, there. And also there's a northern aisle on the other side, which was added by the Victorians. It's got this interesting bell turret, which is apparently quite unusual, and some original Norman carvings over the door, which I'll show you now. The road that was closed, which caused me to do this big walk, which has turned out to be much longer than I even intended, is now actually open. So if I just waited a bit, I could have just driven here. Oh well, I'm really hoping I can find some way back from Willy Howe to whatever it's called, Thwing, without having to double back on myself along this road, but it's not looking particularly promising. But, you know, it's a warm day, got nothing better to do. We will be there soon, I can see it. Right, I made it. I am at Willy Howe round Barrow. Just read up a bit more about the one in Wold Newton, which said it actually dates back to the Neolithic, so I'll check to see if this one does too. It is very big. There it is. It's covered in trees. It's a bit difficult to see, but we'll get in there and have a look. The one at Wold Newton had multiple burials in it. I'm going to check on this one, but it's probably quite likely, judging the size of these things and the proximity to the Gypsy Race, which is just down there, that there was some sort of ritual significance. I mean, if you think about Silbury Hill down in Wiltshire, which they've never managed to find any burials in, but very similar kind of feature, similar kind of construction. So these things somehow marking out the landscape showing some sort of reverence to that water. The archaeologists talk a lot these days about the realm of the dead and the realm of the living, and often water is that boundary between the two. And both of these are on the same side. This one and the Wold Newton one are both on the sort of southern bank or edge of the Gypsey Race. So maybe this side was the sort of land of the dead and the other side was the land of the living. There's an information board here though, I'm going to have a read, and if I find any more I'll tell you. As I suspected, they at least 2 major excavations to this, and never were human remains found. There were some animal bones and things found. So this does look to be a very kind of Silbury-esque monument in the landscape. There's also a nice little fairy story. I'll read this out. This was written by William of Newburgh about a fairy banquet. In William's story, a man was returning home past the mound one night. As he passed, he heard singing and happy feasting coming from within. He approached to find a door in the mound leading to a house. Inside, men and women were taking part in a banquet. They offered the traveller a cup. The man took the cup but feared trickery. He emptied the vessel and galloped away with it, chased by the fairies. The cup was said to be of an unknown material and unusual colour and form. It was supposedly given to Henry I. Wright also wrote of another local superstition. Anyone running 9 times around Willy Howe without stopping can put their ear to the mound. From inside they will hear the fairies dancing and singing. Well, it's red hot, I'm not running 9 times round, but maybe we'll hear some fairies anyway. Well, that was really cool. I thought I'd be back at the van by lunchtime, so I've had a munchie bar and some salt and vinegar square crisps for my lunch, but that's all right. Unfortunately, short of some really blatant traipsing through farmers' fields, the only way I'm going to get back is to go back to Wold Newton and walk down the road, which is a bit boring. There is something quite interesting on the way, hopefully though, so at least we can stop and have a look at that. But bye, Willy Howe. I was just thinking, looking back towards Willy Howe over the fields, it'd be funny, wouldn't it, if they wanted to actually build something the same size as Silbury Hill here, but they somehow got the dimensions wrong. Like that bit in Spinal Tap when they're building Stonehenge and to do it in inches instead of feet. Imagine if they'd have got that right. It'd be enormous. Okay, what I wanted to show you, which I can't because once again there's no access to it, is just in the middle of the shot. If I zoom in, you might just be able to see right in the middle there, something sticking up. Hang on, a car's going to go past. That thing sticking up is the Wold Newton Meteorite monument in 1795, I think it was. A meteorite came burning through the sky, crashed down on that spot, and it was discovered, and it is now in the British Museum. But I tell you what, it's lovely around here, but there are hardly any public footpaths, which is really annoying. They're really busy in the fields at the moment with harvesting, and every so often a tractor comes past pulling a great big trailer full of wheat, which funnily enough smells just like Weetabix, but I've never really smelt it like that before. I'm back at the van. So I just did a 13-kilometre walk, which I didn't need to do at all because the road that was closed reopened, but it was nice, even though a lot of it was on the road. I don't know if I'm going to go to Scarborough now. I have to think of another plan. I'm very, very hot at the moment, very sweaty. So I need to do something about that before I think about anything else. Hey, I was so hot and sweaty and horrible that I had to find a spot off the side of the road and have a roadside shower. which was brilliant. But I didn't film it, sorry. So I've got some fluffy hair. It would be silly to come to this part of the world and not go to this other monument. We are at the source, or very close to the source, a few hundred yards of the Gypsy Race, the spring where that comes up from. And in front of me, looking very impressive, is Willy Howe, which is another Neolithic round barrow. I think they did find some burials in this one. Just reading about it, it was constructed over the course of 1,000 years, from 3,500 BC to 2,500 BC. If I do my spinning thing, it will be behind me. There it is. So I'm going to have a closer look. It's very overgrown up here, as you can see. Just worried about falling down some archaeologist pits, but it seems fairly solid up here. Willy Howe earlier had a huge kind of hole in the middle that had been left from earlier excavations, but this obviously backfilled it quite nicely. It is set really nicely in this landscape. Again, you know, we look back at these people and nobody really knows who they were or what they were doing, but you know, it's likely that this was all connected with the river or the stream. Winter-born stream, that's the phrase I've been seeing. So basically it only flows in the winter at the moment. It's, as we saw earlier, it's just dry. It's good to visit. I've been meaning to come here for a long time. Yeah. Okay, I found somewhere to park for the night. I think this might be the end of this video because it's all kind of worked out quite nicely, being about these Gypsy Race monuments. And if I go somewhere exciting tomorrow, I can make another little video. I'm going to finish this one here. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about this little bit of history. There's not a lot of information apart from the board at Willy Howe, if you're just kind of there in the public and not really places to park even. But it's all worth checking out. There's loads to read about it online and that. If you have enjoyed it, you know, like and subscribe. Do I have to say that? I guess I do. I think it's the rules. And I'll see you on the next video.